Brad,
Yes,
welcome.
sir.
I definitely appreciate you joining us. If you could just start with kind of telling us how you ended up at FFL, and just how long you've been here, and kind of what you've done since you've been here, since you got here over the last 3 years, I think it is.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Wayne, for having me on today. It's pretty special. I remember that first time we met vividly, and we keep bumping into each other. And I go out of my way to see you at conference or follow you on Facebook. A lot of respect for you, dude. So yeah, and that formula is the creep factor formula. So if you're with somebody that's outside that formula, it's kind of creepy. So yeah. Anyway, so I came to FFL in May of 2018. I had been licensed for a year. Okay. And I had been at two very large organizations, like super successful, big names for a year, two companies, captive, zero sales. Okay. No leads. I sat with one prospective client, my firstborn son. He wanted to think about it. So clearly I was not very good at this. Uh, and then I came to Family First Life and sold my first policy July 15th of 2018. Did 19K in my first 30 days, finished the year at 80K, but I was kind of not very good, right? I was turning it on, turning it off, thinking that, I could just switch it on whenever I wanted to. I was not consistent. And when I was at a theme, I ran into Amy Mickelson and I said, "So how do you do it?" And she said, "You got to be consistent." And so that's what really changed for me going into 2019. In February of 2019, back then, we had a national leaderboard. You could see where everybody was. I was number 166 producer in the country, mid-February of 2019. And I set my sights on getting into the top 100, which I did by June. Then I set my sights on the top 50, which I did by the fall. And then I set my sights on the top 10. I ended up as number 6 in 2019 with 515K issue paid business. From an advanced market standpoint, I wrote 2 annuities in 2018. I wrote 6 annuities in 2019. And I wrote about 70 in 2020. So in January of 2020, this had never been done. I had no reason to believe this other than I thought I could do better. I said, I'm going to do $1 million on my own pen. I'm going to do 6 million in annuities.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yep.
you were one of 3 over $1 million last year.
That's
my
right.
apologies.
That's all right. So nobody had ever put it out there. I said, nope, I'm going to do $1 million on my own pen. I'm going to double my production, and 6 is going to come from annuities, and 4 from life. Well, I ended the year with 5 million, which is 500 issue pay on annuities, and a little over 6 in life. So it was like 1.1 million, $59,270.51, something like
Roundabout, yeah.
Just yeah, ballpark in it right there. So yeah, man, I mean, anybody can do this. It's really about just being consistent, plugging in, being a student of your craft, and stepping outside your comfort zone a little bit. Back in the day, we called them BHAG goals, big, hairy, audacious goals. So, saying you're going to do $1 million before anybody's ever done it, that's a BHAG goal. And I would just recommend everyone to find why they want to do this, and to set their own BHAG goal and send it to Wayne, because he will help you get to the point where you're going to achieve that maybe a lot faster than you really thought you would.
So you said a lot, and I think honestly we could end the call there. and everybody could go implement those things, and the agency would turn around dramatically. But I didn't know that you'd only been licensed a year
Yeah.
when we met, and it come from somewhere else. So where did that confidence come from? You'd only been licensed a year, and you didn't sell anything in that year that you were licensed, but you
Nothing.
come to FFL with this overbearing, not overbearing, but with this, I guess, this solid sense of what you were going to accomplish and what your impact would be once you got here. Where did that come from?
Well, so let's see. I'm not a quitter. I'm fairly analytical. So analytical does not help you. Not being a quitter does help you.
Okay.
So my analytical side saw that the people that were doing the most volume had the most leads. It's like, oh, well, that's easy. I can swipe my credit card. Yeah, I bought every lead I could get my hands on. I think I plopped down like 6K in leads in my first 60 days. And I bought everything. I bought last will and testament, final expense, social insurance. Didn't have game time back then, but there was EverQuote. Oh, here's the deal, dude. So I turned on EverQuote 5 a day, 7 days a week, and I never turned it off for 2 years. And so it was always that steady hum in the background that I always had enough fresh internet leads that I could. Now we've got the instant internet leads, same, right? Inexpensive, high volume, and there's some noise in there to be sure, right? It's kind of like junk, gold, junk,
Yeah.
bronze, junk, silver, gold, junk, gold. You just need to sift through the noise to get to the gold, right? So, and I figured that out pretty quick. It's just absolutely a numbers game. So, if I told you, give me $1 and I'll give you 2, it'd be like, how many bucks can I give you? Right.
Right.
So I'm going to double my money. Worst case, how much money can I stuff into this machine? And so that's what I did. I figured it out right away because I had been suffering at these 2 companies. I mean, these are really, so one is the largest mutual insurance company in the United States. Big name, 138 years old, super successful, wore a suit and tie to work every day, didn't make a dime. The other one's the biggest in the planet out of France. Same, suit and tie, shiny shoes, pretty office, didn't make a dime. They didn't have leads. So when I found out what leads could do for me, I bought every lead there was, and I dialed my face off. So my formula to get to the Hall of Fame production, and I dialed this in pretty quick. It's 500 dials minimum a week. Minimum 500 dials.
That's 250 and 250.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. 500 dials a week minimum. And if you're not talking to at least 60 people, you need to switch up your lead source. Now, don't keep flip-flopping around between lead sources just to flip-flop around. You want to, I promised myself no matter what kind of lead it was, I would give it 3 chances. I'd buy a batch. And if I didn't get the results, I'd buy another one. It still didn't get the results, I would buy another one before I would move on. So I always took 3 bites of the apple of every lead source. And then I really dialed it in where I had some CRM leads coming to me, being pushed through mailers, mortgage protection, final expense, turning 65. And I always had the EverQuote in the background. And I got my lead budget up to $1,000 a week pretty quick. But here's how I would dial them. I'd dial 500, never less, 500. And I would talk to 60, set 30, run 20, sell 10. 500, 60, 30, 20, 10. And then of those 10 policies, they're about $1,000 a piece. A couple of them fall off. Actually, about one of mine falls off. My persistency is right around 95. But on average, it'll be like, 80 or more. So let's just say 80. So you dial 500 to talk to 60 people. You set half the people you talk to. I mean, if you're not setting half the people you talk to, then you need to get better at overcoming objections. And we can teach you that. But you set 30 because about a third of them won't be there. That's all right. Don't get mad. Keep your brain happy. and sit with 20. If you're sitting with 20, then you bought enough leads, made enough dials, made enough sets. If you're sitting with 20, you should be closing 10. And of those 10, about 1,000 each. Two will
Yeah.
fall off. One needs to go towards leads. So now it's like you're at 7K. And then you've got bills and whatever, but you're super profitable if you get to 10. And the way you get to 10 is enough leads to blow up the phone and talk to enough people to set 30, run 20.
Sheesh, this is a clinic.
I mean,
Man.
you can't lose. You can't lose. Everyone on this call, I don't know these people, but it doesn't matter. You should all be sporting a red coat. If you do exactly what I'm saying right now, today, find a way to get to $1,000 a week in a lead budget. That may seem scary to you. You may already be doing it. I teach all my folks the same thing. Take a small business loan, open a credit card. Trust me, there's very few businesses that you can open with this little of overhead, that it's not about you, or nobody's special. There's not, it's like, oh, that guy's really good. That gal's killing it. No. It's the system, it's the process, it's not the person. But the people that win versus the ones that are tentative, it's about engaging. Don't miss training. Never miss training. Be a student of your craft in your non-producing income activity times and study up on, product. But it's 80% phone, 15% in the house, 5% product. But you have to engage and you have to believe in yourself with a positive mindset. Plug down $1,000 a week to make enough dial sets, and you can't lose. There's no way you can lose. Absolutely no way.
So I just have one more question. And then I'm going to get into, because I know everybody wants to know how you write 500 grand in annuities, but I'm going to make them stay on for that. Now, I watched, because I was paying attention to you on Facebook.
Yeah.
I watched the transition from you figuring out that you could write what you wanted to you actually building and working with your wife.
Yeah.
Walk us through kind of that transition and the things that you employed when you started building.
Yeah. So if you want to build a big business, you need to invest at least 10%. So remember I said sell 10 and then hold on to 8 and put at least 1, if not 2, back into leads. We'll put 1, if not 2, into marketing and hiring. So initially do your warm market, because that's free and they should trust you. I hope they trust you if they're your warm market. And then leverage their warm market as well. But if you exhaust that, and hey, just let's be honest, I'm not young and attractive like you, Wayne. My warm market has got 1 foot in the grave. So that's not an option for me. I'm doing totally cold market. So I pour about 14K a month into marketing. So I've got 5K in recruiters, 5K in social media, 2K in Craigslist, 2K in staff, another 4K in staff, because I want to build fast, really fast. And it's a delayed gratification. So if you start today, you will see the fruits of your labor if you're consistent and you don't blink in 90 to 120 days. So if you start doing that, whatever your numbers are, just work from percentages, not a number, but a percentage. If you put aside 10% of your net gains back into marketing, you'll be very happy you did that. And you'll see it in 90 to 120 days. So I got an office, I got a staff, I set aside a marketing budget, and the numbers will follow. Don't fall in love with the results. Fall in love with the process.
100%.
Okay.
Did you say you said 14K in marketing?
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I wrote it down, and then I need to figure out how to get to 14K. I mean, the rest of you guys figure out how to get to 1,000 a week in leads. Right. But then we'll talk about how to get to 14K, because I'm going to figure it out. And then I'm going to come back and tell all of you after I steal it from Brad.
There you go.
Now, the company you were at before, you said you didn't write anything in the year, but you come here, and in year 2,
Yep.
or in year 3, you write $500,000 in annuities?
Year 2. My first full year in the field was $500,000.
Okay.
Yep.
So how? Because I was at the same Athene training that you went to. You
Correct.
were only in the business a year, so you didn't come in with this wealth of knowledge.
Mm-mm.
And I can't imagine that you came up on very many things that I wasn't exposed to too. So I'm
Sure.
asking this question
Sure.
half-heartedly for them, but really I want to know.
Yeah. I sit with more people than you do. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I
Not what
can
I was
tell
looking
you,
for.
I don't need to know anything about what anybody on this call is doing. Nobody's special. If I'm writing more premium, it's because I'm sitting with more people. We don't have a money problem. We have a people problem, whether it's building or selling. It's you have to be in front of a lot of people. It's a numbers game. So if somebody's like, well, how's this guy killing it? It's like, he doesn't have any magic beans. He's not saying something that's, somebody else isn't saying. We all have the same training. He's more committed. He's more plugged in. He's investing more, and he's sitting with more people. I step up to the plate more. That's it. I'm just hitting singles. I'm hitting a lot of singles.
So still just more people, golden question, ask a specialist, go back, present it, and make it make sense.
Yeah. So when it comes to annuities, so here's the deal with advanced market. So I do a lot of Medicare. About half my annuities came from Medicare.
Okay.
Yep. So when I meet somebody that's turning 65, and you don't need to have your AHIP to do a supplement, you can just have your health and your life and health, and you can do a supplement. So I wouldn't even recommend for new people to go into AHIP. I would just stick to supplements, right? So if you have your life and health, you can sell accidental from Mutual of Omaha, and you can sell Medicare supplement with Mutual of Omaha. So if you have a turning 65 lead in your area that's within 3 months of age, I would buy it. I would buy it, and here's why. Because people are typically retiring at that age, and they're losing their life insurance benefits, and they're losing their, kind of structure, their routine. They've been going to the same job for a long time, and they may have a 401k. And so you sit down and you do the Medicare piece first. It's the same appointment, right? You still do the financial inventory. What do you make? What do you spend? What's left over? Great. How much do you put in the bank? Are you a saver? Why do you need to know that? Well, I need to know what to recommend, because I can lose my license if I don't make a suitable recommendation. You don't want that to happen. Neither do I. So these, they're just numbers to me. Great. Now I know budget. And then what do you have that looks or acts like insurance? Why do you need to know that? Well, like I told you when I sat down, I'm full service broker. I do health and wealth. So today we're talking about health, but I also want to be your single point of contact for both health and wealth, because I specialize in retirement planning. So what do you have that looks or acts like insurance? 401k, IRA, money market, CD, stocks, bonds, indexed annuities, life insurance that you own. Perfect. So you've got 330k in your 401k, and you just retired. Perfect. Does the market make you nervous? Yes. Great. Well, let's set a follow-up appointment to show you how I can protect and grow that so that you go forwards, not backwards. You're at the end of the roller coaster. You're lucky because we're at an all-time market bull run. Let's lock in your gains while it's at the high point. You know what they say, buy low, sell high. This is the time to capture those gains. And then I set up the appointment for the next couple of days. I finish the appointment that I'm in, and then I go back and I do that. So that same teasing up the second appointment, I do that whether it's an internet lead, a Medicare lead turning 65, whether it's mortgage protection, final expense. It could be an orphan 401k. It could be, an IRA that they've had for a while. It doesn't really matter if it's qualified money. That means it's qualified for IRS tax exemption, right? If it's non-qualified money, that means it's just money sitting in the bank. So whether it's, like 100,000 sitting in a bank account, Well, it's the same story. It's like, well, on the investment curve, you've got bank account, which is 0.002. Then you got money market, which is like 1.2. CDs is short term, then bonds, and then you've got indexing, then you've got the market. And so if you've got money in the bank, non-qualified funds, why are you leaving money on the table? Because a money market would be better than just a bank account, and a CD would be better, and a bond would be better. But what would be even better is no fee, no risk, fixed indexed annuity. You're going to participate in the gains of the market, not its losses, without a fee. And let me explain to you how that works, right? So you kind of talk out of both sides of your mouth, whether it's qualified or non-qualified money, it doesn't matter, right? And the beauty of this is, well, so we happen to represent the largest indexed annuity company on planet Earth. It's fact. Look it up. Google away. Athene's number one, and they have the number one product for 2019. I haven't seen the 2020 numbers come out, but 2019 was the agility product, right? So you could go with number two. I don't know why you would, but I swim in the same pool. I'm local, and I represent the best company with the best product. I just don't know if it's right for you, but we will know in the next appointment. So there's on the AMS, the FFLAMS.com website, there's a couple pieces of collateral that I take in every house. Okay, the first one is the power of indexing. It shows the red line, which is the S&P 500, and they're all unrealized gains, ups and downs, right? Until you sell, it's not your win. Until you sell, it's not your loss. That's paper, right? It's paper gains, paper losses. Then it shows the green line, which is what we do. Okay. And so those are all realized gains. It participates in the market's gains, not the market's losses. That one chart has made me a couple $100,000. No kidding. At least a couple $100,000 just showing that one chart. And the new chart I'm bringing out with me now, I still have that one, but the new one I'm bringing out with me now is the Schiller report. Okay, so the PE ratio shows stock valuations, whether they're undervalue, overvalue. Well, there's 3 data points in market history where there's like the 3 all-time high points for stock overvaluations. Number one is 2008, which I personally experienced because I was number 2 from the top of WAMU Bank when it went under. I can say WAMU because it doesn't exist anymore. But there was Gary Killinger, Steve Rotella, Brad Allan, right? So I was a made man. I was at the top of the heap, lost $750K in a day, right? Why? Because the stocks were overvalued. They weren't worth what people were paying. And once they figured it out, then we had a 49% teardown of that portfolio. I lost my retirement. I'm still a young man, but I was a younger man back then. I was in my mid 40s, right? So I had to start over. I don't want to do that again. So that was the most vulnerable point in market history. The number 2, you know what the number 2 most vulnerable point is? Today is the number 2 most vulnerable point from a stock overvaluation perspective. Number 3 is the Great Depression. So, hey, my guy's great. Yeah, we're on a rocket. We're just like killing it. Yeah, everybody's guy's great because,
right. He's not working.
Right. Yeah. Unless you've got 7 figures, you don't actually have a guy. You got a system and a pie chart. That's cool. Hey, now that's fine. You've been doing well. Same. Lock in at the top. Don't wait until I see you on the way down. And I can tell you what the other side of this equation looks like because I used to do it in my previous life. It's like, hang in there. It's going to bounce back. It always does. It's like, yeah, 6, 12, 24 months. You're 65 years old. You don't have much bounce back left in you. So let's capture these gains, lock them in, and never look back, right? So you want to capture requirements. You want to set a follow-up appointment. Do not tidal wave sale somebody. I've made that mistake multiple times where you sell them the Medicare, then you sell them a final expense, Reliance Shield, you put them into an index annuity, and then either a broker or somebody that can spell finance in their family says, oh no, you don't want to do annuities, it's horrible. everything falls off the books. So you do what you went there to do and stop. And you tease up enough interest to come back in a follow-up. And then I would say it's almost 100% close rate when I come back on the second appointment when it comes to a fixed indexed annuity or IUL.
Got it. So I hope you guys are taking notes, and I know it's being recorded, but Brad, I feel like we should pay you for all of that, because I thought that I did well, but there's so many, like, there's so many takeaways and talking points and just nuggets in there that if anybody was paying attention, that they can literally turn their life around this year just by asking the question, and then just memorizing these word tracks, because that's all I've done over time, and I'm sure that's all you did, and then you just learn to fill in the gaps with the information that you were given when you went back. So I thank you for that. And the next time we see each other, definitely drink some. But I know that there's some questions without
Okay.
bombarding him or going into the weeds. I'm just a couple of questions on anything that he did to build, how he allocated funds, and then really anything.
Okay.
Anything that you have, just a couple of questions, because I know he's busy. And I want to get him back to his team and his business. So just unmute, first come, first serve. Everybody's afraid of Brad.
No, don't be afraid. Yeah, I won't bite.
We're in shock.
Ask away. Ask away.
I was able to catch most of the word tracks that you were saying a little bit earlier, but I was wondering if we could just kind of go over them again, just for the purpose of getting
We'll
them
use the recording
perfectly.
for that, Jose. You just have to just listen to the
So then-
recording for that. So if you have a specific question, something that he didn't, just walk you through.
Right. So one of the other questions is, there's obvious a lot of knowledge that you gained along your years of the advanced market. What is one way that I can familiarize myself with some of the other terminologies and things like that, other than diving into our markets? Do you look at any other forms of input, like training, outside of the FFL?
It's a great question. So first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I grab my cell phone and I look at the market. It's the very first thing. As soon as my eyes open, I grab my phone and I have an iPhone, and it has the little stock applet, and I open it and I look at the market, and I know all of my annuities that are out pending or potential clients, or maybe I haven't even met them yet, but I see what the Wall Street's doing. I see what the news. So markets move based on information, right? The only thing the market doesn't like is uncertainty. So I'm looking for uncertainty, whether it's bombs being put on tankers in the Middle East, or a pandemic, or taxation, politics. So I read like the 5 news feeds on my phone. I look at the ticker, and it takes me less than a minute, and I've got everything I need to go into the rest of my day. And how I'm going to use that, I have no idea. But when somebody says, "Did you see the market today?" It's like, yeah, the Dow's down 300 points. Market make you nervous? It should. Let's go ahead and set this follow up and lock in your gains. Whatever, right? Right. So that I do, and I've never missed the Thursday morning AMS training. I've read every piece of collateral on the AMS site. There's a lot of it out there. You should read every word. You should look at all the carriers' indexed annuities and indexed universal life products. There's like 6. There's 6, right? I do Forrester Smart UL. I do Mutual of Omaha Indexed Universal Life Express, and I do Global Atlantic Lifetime Builder Elite. That's on the IUL side. On the fixed index annuity side, I'm in love with the agility. I mean, it's number 1. Why would I sell number 2? It's based on requirements. So the Ascent is for somebody who wants to turn on income for life right away. The Performance, these are all the theme products. The Performance Elite is built for speed, no stuff, just speed, this little rocket ship. And it's got some great indexing strategies I can go into, but there's only a handful. And you can pump them up now they've added for a fee, you can supercharge them. So it's basically Performance Elite, 7 or 10 in my state. There's 15 in other states, but that's built for speed. The Agility, that's the one that's the number one. It's got all the stuff. It's, you know, it's got interest crediting, benefit-based bonus. It's all out there on the Athene site. There's brochures. You should fall in love with illustrations. So if it needs an illustration, it's an advanced market product. If it doesn't need an illustration, then it's not an advanced market product, right? So IULs and FIAs, index universal life and fixed index annuities, require illustrations. You should fall in love and geek out on illustrations. I mean, in your spare time, don't watch Netflix, run illustrations. It's super cool. Is that good? Is that answer? I don't know. I was probably all over the map, man.
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was exactly what I was looking for. Some kind of routines and things I can start to get into the habit to just kind of familiarize myself with more than what than
Yeah.
the surface of it.
Yeah,
But that was perfect. Thank you.
Be a sponge, use your free time, scour that AMS site, scour the carriers' product portfolios, and ask lots of questions. Don't miss trainings, and ask the silver question in the financial inventory. What do you make? What do you spend? What's left over? Are you savers? By the way, folks, we love savers. Why? Because they plan for the future, and they like life insurance, and they're more conservative. And our products are built for savers, not for spenders, right? We don't do speculation, we do certainty. We don't say, oh, for a fee, I could maybe get you some magic beans. It's like, no, it's in a contract, right? So we're trading speculation for certainty. And so do those things. And then when you get through the silver question, what do you make? What do you spend? What's left over? That's discretionary income. Don't put people outside their budget. Somewhere between 10 and 15% is your monthly premium. Are you savers? Great. I love savers. Then the next section is, what do you have that looks or acts like insurance that would pay off your liabilities at the time of your death? That's the golden question. You ask that, and you tease out both premium in the top part of your financial inventory and then assets in the middle part of your inventory to protect and grow that will outperform more conservative investments like savings account, money market, CD, bonds, you know. So it's not that hard, and you just don't write the application in a first sit. What you do is you say, well, I specialize in protecting and growing I specialize in protecting and growing retirement accounts. So you will go forwards, not backwards. Let's go ahead and set something up for same time on Friday. So that's like 2 days from your Wednesday appointment, whatever, right? Don't make it a week out or a month out. You need to tease out the premium, the opportunity, and create a sense of urgency, and then set it. And that second appointment, you come in and you close it. But the collateral that I bring is the same. I show the red line and the green line. It's like right now, if they're qualified funds, which means they haven't paid taxes, that's 401ks, that's IRAs, 403bs, right? They haven't paid taxes on them yet. Then it's like, sir, you're on the red line, and the red line's been doing great. Everyone's been really enjoying the red line. But red lines go up and down without realized gains. Let's go ahead and capture those gains and move you off the red line onto the green line. It's like, but it's doing so great. It's like, okay, sir, let me ask you a question. How much of this are you willing to lose? I can guarantee you the answer every time is zero. It's like, now, come on. It can't be zero because it's still all on the red line. How much on the red line do you really, like scorched earth, do not want to lose? Well, there is a rule of 100. It's known in the industry. You take your age from the number 100, and that's how much should not be at risk. So if you're 70, then 30% can be on the red line, but 70 better be on the green line. right? Because you don't have a whole lot of start over left in you, right? So that rule of 100 is just it's a very kind of like basic. It's, you know, it's not very complicated. It's really easy to remember, but you can Google that. You know, Warren Buffett in 2008, he bet a New York hedge fund that I'll take the green line, you take the red line. And in 10 years, we'll see who wins. He smoked them. I mean, it wasn't even close. And he gave the $1 million to charity. But the New York hedge fund guys are like, well, we win on the red line going up and down because we know the market. Nobody knows the market because the market is life. You know, you're not going to outthink life, right? But we deal in contracts, guarantees. When I was with my previous company, day one, it's like take the word guarantee and remove it from your vocabulary. You can never say guarantee again. So I say guarantee all the time now. I love it. I wake up and say, I guarantee this is going to be a good day, right? That's fantastic. We are in the best business ever, and there's a lot to learn, but it's baby steps, right? Bring that red line, green line chart with you. It's money. Keep it simple. Confused people don't buy, right? So most of my people, so most of my clients, when I do the follow-up, they remember the red line, green line. So, Mr. Smith, are you ready to jump onto the green line today? Yeah, man. I'm freaked out. I've been watching Bloomberg last night. Red line is scaring me to death. It's like, great. It takes me about 15 minutes to write the app, but it's going to take about 3 weeks to actually have the whole thing finished. But once we liquidate your account, you're no longer on the red line, you're on the green line. So we're going to remove your risk within just a few days if we can get you through suitability. And that, once you start writing a lot of annuities, that's the tipping point. So writing an app, super simple. Getting it funded is where it gets tricky because now you've got friends, family, brokers trying to talk them out of it. And I just tee it up ahead of time. I say, you're going to have people dripping poison in your ear, fear and doubt, fear and doubt, fear and doubt. I need you to stay strong. We need to jump off that red line. You said you had $1 million, but scorched earth, you had to make sure 500K was going to the kids. So let them fear and doubt you all day long, but not on this 500K, right? You with me? Oh yeah, okay, because you're going to be tested, but I'm here with you. But there's going to come a point when we get through suitability that somebody's going to try to talk you out of this. It will not change. It's still the same. And you just make sure and keep it really simple, okay? Because people fear change. They just do. They do. They fear change. And so you need to keep it super simple, be really calm. Don't get excited about big numbers. $1 million annuity is not that big a deal. You're going to see a lot of them because, by the way, folks, 11 years bull run, a correction is 10 points down. 2 corrections in a row is a bear market. Bear market 2 months in a row is recession. We're overdue for all of these things. So I just let them know that you can meet me today and lock it in at the top, or you can meet me in 2 or 3 months when you're down 20, 30 points. How does 180K out of your account look? Let's not do that, right? So you need to make sure and keep it simple, but also put some urgency in there. There's no think about it. Don't see me in 2 months when you've lost 20% of your portfolio or more. See it all the time. Don't do that.
Golden. Everything that you said was just perfect. I'm going to watch this like 4 or 5 times. 100%. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Brad, my question will be real quick.
Yes,
quick
sir.
question, but thanks so much for jumping on and bringing AMS to us. So obviously that's the whole entire reason why you can invest 14K in your marketing. And my question is about how many people you have on staff that process 14,000 worth of leads for recruiting.
Yeah. So I've got a hiring manager that's full-time. I've got another hiring manager that's part-time that I'm replacing. So I'm going to have a full-time and a part-time hiring manager, full-time operations manager. Full disclosure, my wife helps a lot behind the scenes social media and admin and bookkeeping, and she's on the payroll too. And I have a scheduler that sets appointments for me so I can be out in the field funding this. So I'm still running, a good bit of business so that I can fund this model. So, yeah, I just need to write about $50K a month in insurance to pay for everything. That's easy.
That makes sense. So you heavily invest to build. So that's what I was looking
Absolutely.
for.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
appreciate
trying
that.
to be like Ivan. I mean, I'm just trying to be like Ivan, man.
Hey, Brad, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for jumping on. And Wayne, I'm gonna pass it to you. I think you wanted to bring somebody on.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. First of all, just some takeaways from Brad. Consistency. 500 dials, 30 appointments, 20 sits. You'll do 10K a week. Plug 1,000 to 2,000 back into leads and 1,000 to 2,000 back into hiring. Is really the formula for success. According to Brad, who wrote, I don't remember the exact number, but just over 1.1 million,
$59,270.51.
Yeah, a lot of premium. Real quick, I want to bring on Eugene. Do we have Eugene? I didn't see his. Eugene, are you here?
He said he had a 12 o'clock appointment to get to, so I think he jumped off.
Okay. We'll definitely get Eugene back on next week. We want to talk to Eugene about his success. Wrote 13K in his first week, going part-time to full-time. So we definitely want to dig into that. What we may do is get him on the phone, record it, and distribute it, but we'll definitely get that out to you here in the very near future. But Brad, I thank you for your time and all the nuggets. I don't know if you can see this, but I got a ton of notes that I need to go back and organize. Hopefully you guys did the same. We'll get this recording out to you. Guys, again, great month, great week. And as always, we'll see you on the leaderboard.